Okay, today I'm going to show you how to make ricotta cheese. It is so incredibly simple. You'll wonder why you haven't made it before. So we're going to start with a gallon of milk. Now, in my pan here, I actually doubled the recipe, so I had 2 gallons of milk. But I'll share the recipe for the 1 gallon or 2 gallons. So basically, you're trying to get your milk up to 200 degrees. You'll want one of these little thermometers. These digital thermometers are amazing. If you don't have a digital thermometer, you can use something like a candy thermometer. They're just a little slower moving and not as accurate. I really like these digital ones. They're fairly cheap. I think you can get them on Amazon for $4 or $5. I'll put a link in the video description of the one that I use. And I said they're fairly cheap, but they're totally worth it. So you want to keep stirring it because your proteins in your milk will settle to the bottom of the pan. And it's going to be kind of inevitable to avoid any burn or anything on the bottom of the pan. But you just want to, the more you stir it, the better off you'll be. So keep stirring it. You don't have to babysit it the whole time because this process might take an hour or two. And sometimes you get a little film on top. That's fine. Just stir it in. And you just keep coming back and keep stirring it. Check your temperature. Again, we're trying to get it to, no matter how much milk you're doing, you want 200 degrees. And I'll move the thermometer around the pan a little bit just so that the whole pan is getting heat and it's well distributed and all that. So this is getting it to the right temperature to kill bacteria and everything like that. So just keep monitoring it, keep going back and stirring. Like I said, these digital thermometers are perfect for this. And then once you get it to your 200 degrees, that's when the fun starts. And again, this might take 1 to 2 hours. It really doesn't, the whole process start to finish doesn't take that long. And it's so simple with ingredients you have on hand in your kitchen and in your cupboard, that whenever you have the ricotta cheese, we made homemade lasagna. We used it in that. We did stuffed shells. You can turn it into a dip. It is just so amazing and it's so good. And ricotta cheese is kind of expensive in the grocery store. So this is definitely a skill that you're going to want to try and do. And like I said, all the ingredients, everything is so simple and so basic. You pretty much have everything on hand, or at least most people should. So it's very minimal for the ingredients. So here we go. We're almost there to the 200 degrees. So again, you just keep stirring it, keep monitoring it. And sometimes, it'll stall out for a while and it doesn't feel like the temperature is raising at all. And then finally it hits that 200 degrees and yay, hallelujah. So once you get the 200 degrees, oh, it's so close right there, 97, almost there. So a little bit more stirring and I think let's check this last time. I think we got it. So again, very important you hit that 200 degrees. Now for other things like yogurt and stuff, you don't have to have it quite as high. Yogurt's like 180 degrees, but for the ricotta cheese, you want 200 degrees. And this is Fahrenheit, obviously, not Celsius. So I love watching these two, and usually you can tell with a digital thermometer that it'll go pretty fast, and then as it gets closer to the temperature, it kind of slows down. Yay, there we go, 200 degrees. Make sure that the whole pot is about that, and make sure that that temperature is all throughout the whole pan of milk, so that you don't have a hot spot or a cold spot. It's just always better safe than sorry. All right, so now we've hit our 200 degrees. Now we're going to remove it from the heat, turn off your burner, and now it's time to get it curdling. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to add salt. Definitely you don't want to skip this. Now you're going to want 2 teaspoons of salt per gallon. So again, because I have 2 gallons in here, I'm doing 4 teaspoons of salt. I don't really measure much, so I don't use measuring cups or measuring spoons hardly ever. But if you want it exact, that's fine. It's the salt, it's kind of just more for the flavor, and so, but you definitely don't want to skip that step. You could add things like a garlic salt or an onion salt if you wanted a flavored ricotta. That would probably be really good, actually, depending on what you were using it for. Next, you're going to add your lemon juice. So the lemon juice is going to help it curdle. You want 2/3 of a cup of lemon juice per gallon of milk. So right here, I've got 1 1/3 cups of lemon juice, and you'll see almost instantly once you add the lemon juice, it will start curdling. And you'll see when I pull my spatula out, all the little specks, there it is. It's starting to curdle. The lemon juice will make the milk curdle almost instantly. Now you're going to let that sit for 10 minutes. So while it's sitting, get your strainer ready. So here I've got my colander or strainer over a bowl, and you just want 1 layer of cheesecloth. This is cheesecloth. You can get it at grocery stores, at Walmart, things like that. It's usually with the canning or kitchen stuff. It's just a fine mesh that it's going to add as a smaller layer to your strainer, basically so you don't get you don't lose too many of your curds. So here we've got, there it is, it's strained. Do you see it all curdly there? That's perfect. Now I spoon it, it's been sitting for 10 minutes. I start with spooning the big chunks out first, because when you pour the whole pan in, if you don't spoon the big chunks out, they'll kind of plop in and splash on you. And they're hot still, because, you know, you brought it to 200 degrees. Even though it's been removed from the heat, it's still pretty hot. So I spoon out all those big chunks first, and then you can grab the whole pan and just pour it into your strainer. And we're just gonna strain. This is separating the curds from the whey. So the liquid part, that yellow watery liquid part, is whey. And then the curds are going to be our ricotta cheese. I found that it helps to just kind of tug at the edges of the cheesecloth, and what that does is that just helps the whey strain through a little bit, kind of pulls the curds off the cheesecloth in certain parts. You could get a spoon or spatula and scrape along the bottom if you want. I just don't do that. For this, I prefer just tugging at the cheesecloth on each side, and it kind of helps pull it away from the sides a little bit. So you're just going to let it sit, and just, like I said, I go back and I just pull at the cheesecloth every few minutes or so, and you can see it's already thickening up there, that the liquid is straining through, and that's perfect. That's what we want to have. Now, the length that you let it strain is totally up to you. If you want a runny ricotta, then you could pull it out now and it's fine. If you want a thicker ricotta, just let it strain a little bit longer. The longer it strains, the thicker the ricotta will be. Now, if by accident you strain it too long and it's too thick, all you have to do is just spoon some of the whey that's strained out and add it back in. Not a big deal. You can just thin it down again. So here we go. See, it's starting to crack and break there. That means it's getting pretty thick. I wanted it pretty thick because I was going to do it for a lasagna mixture. And there's our whey down in the bottom. Now at this point, I had already strained the bowl out because it was getting full. Don't throw away your whey. So this whey is totally useful. You can use it for protein drinks. It has tons of protein in it. So it still has a lot of uses left in it. So don't throw away your whey. You can still use it. But I hope that was an easy way for you to learn how to make ricotta cheese. And I'd love to hear in the comments your experiences and maybe different flavors and ways that you've done it.